caught in the crossfire. Caught in the...
What's up, guys? Lance the Obscure Movie Guy coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that you probably won't care about, but we're going to do it anyways, trying to change the world one post at a time. And today we're going to be doing another shorts block. I've got 3 more short films to talk to you about and go over, so let's dive in with our first one, simply titled, What Will I Do? Now, there is no trailer for What Will I Do because it's a fairly short, runs roughly 4 minutes, but my buddy Jimmy Blanco reached out to me, who I've been working with on The Hive. He's actually the videographer for the film, and reached out to me and sent me a short film that was done by Dante Fleming, one of the other videographers that he works with. So this was pretty much done all by Dante. It was written, shot, edited, put together, music, stars in, all of it was done by Dante Fleming, and despite it being only 4 minutes and 35 seconds, it's actually really well done. I think this was a kind of Dante's way of seeing how far he's come as a filmmaker, because it's very short. Basically, it's Dante. He's in an apartment building, sends a text message to his girlfriend, gets a message back that you don't see, but you hear that she is having fun with another gentleman, we'll say. And from there, he goes and gets in his car and basically says, what will I do? So despite it being short, it's incredibly well shot. It is absolutely beautiful as far as the cinematography goes. It's edited together very well, and it's very quick, and I think it's just an expose on what he's capable of. I would love to see more of this. The drone shots are amazing looking, great camera quality, beautifully shot, beautifully framed. So from a video standpoint, despite there not being a whole lot of acting and only a couple lines, this works really well. It would be a great opening scene. It would be a great opening scene to a larger film encompassing What Will I Do? So Dante, Jimmy, thank you for reaching out and sending it to me. Dante, great job putting it together, and I look forward to finishing out The Hive with you guys. Let's dive into our next one. The next short I'm going to talk about is, well, it's a 10-minute short, but it's really more like a long commercial, which is a good thing. It's okay. It's a great time. It's simply titled Back to the Furniture.
Could you let us do our jobs?
1, 2. It's not my fault.
That was my grandmother's antique furniture.
You hired the wrong movers!
Hello?
Hi, this is Josh over at Homeport Living. Hey, I'm just calling to confirm your move for yesterday.
Yesterday?
But I highly recommend going on YouTube and looking up Back to the Furniture. This was directed and written by Joshua M. Hancock, who is an independent film actor that I've corresponded with on a number of things. Has a movie coming out on 4/20 of 2026 from Whit Whitman. I know you guys will recognize that name if you follow me. Starring Billy Crank and Josh Hancock. It's called Smokey, but we're not talking about Smokey today. We're talking about Back to the Furniture. Now, Back to the Furniture is basically just a long commercial for a furniture company based out of Ohio, Home Court Movers, that you can look up at somersetmoving.com. But Home Court Movers, just a moving company that does it better than anybody else. And basically that's how the short film goes. Basically, you have a couple of movers. A lady's been waiting on her furniture to be delivered for quite some time. The movers that show up are drunk, rude, crude, incompetent. They end up breaking some of her furniture, and then Doc Brown shows up in the Back to the Future DeLorean and says, we need to go back to the furniture and reset your appointment with Home Court Movers to make sure that your furniture gets delivered on time and unharmed, unscathed by professionals. Honestly, I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm a sucker for 80s, as you know. Back to the Future is probably the greatest trilogy ever made. and the original one's in my top 10 of all-time favorite films. And they did a really good job capturing the 80s aesthetic. They had an actual time machine DeLorean that was provided by them from Ohio Time Machine Rental. You can actually look them up online. They've got a proper, now I don't think it's movie used, but it's a proper replica of the DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future, down to everything. And Josh did a really good job of getting this shot and filmed using some special effects, and obviously using a couple of lines from the original Back to the Future trilogy, where we're going, we don't need roads, Great Scott, stuff like that. And it looked like, everybody was just having a good time putting this together. The best part for me was the music. Look, I've got my reservations about AI. I don't want AI films. I don't want AI actors taking over real actors' jobs. But son of a bitch, AI can put together some music that is just a whole lot of fun to listen to. It was one of the first things I asked Josh when I was done watching this film. I was like, what was the group that did the music? Because it perfectly captured that 80s synthwave, pop rock, synth pop feel throughout the course of the whole film. And I was just enamored by it. The frickin' song at the end is just a lot of fun to listen to. And he was like, I just did it with, I think it was Suno AI generated music, which sucks because it's not the first time that I've run into AI music being really, really good. Which maybe that says a lot about our music industry because most modern day music sucks to begin with. Not independent artists, the mainstream stuff. I still love The Midnight. I still love Miami Nights 1984, Time Cop 1983. I could go over a whole slew of independent synth artists that are absolutely awesome. Regardless of that fact, mainstream music sucks. So I'm getting a little off topic, but Josh put together using AI for the soundtrack, and it's just a lot of fun. It's like a 10-minute video commercial, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. Everybody had a good time doing it. If I had any negative connotation about that, there's a bit of bickering back and forth between the original two movers, the incompetent ones. That probably ran a little too long. They got their point across, within 30 seconds, a bit of back and forth. It just became redundant after that. But he may have been trying to use a little bit of filler there to try and fill in just for this elongated commercial as it is. But really, other than that, it's just a goofy short that was a lot of fun to put together for the cast and crew, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. So go look up Back to the Furniture to check it out. Go check out SomersetMoving.com to hire home court movers, and then you can go to Ohio Time Machine Rental if you're looking to rent a time machine if you're in the Ohio area. The last one I want to talk about is titled Space Goblins. Space Goblins is a lot of fun. It's a 30-minute short that basically plays as just a regular old obscure 30-minute cartoon. It's as it was described to me, it's heavy metal slashed with Ren and Stimpy, and that's kind of the feel that you get between the animation and the jokes and the writing. This was sent to me by Ames Overton, who was one of three people that put this project together. Him and a couple buddies. It was basically a do-it-yourself project, and it's been in production for quite a few years now, and it's finally starting to get some traction. You can find it online on YouTube, but it runs 30 minutes, and it's about a couple of alien bounty hunters that go out, and they're trying to capture this one criminal that is a high-profile criminal, and once they actually capture him, they find out, the idea was that they had this idea in their head that this criminal must be living this lavish life, committing all these crimes and robbing all these people and having all this money. And it turns out that this criminal is really just a low life. He doesn't live in a fancy house. He doesn't get a lot of women. He doesn't have a fancy yacht or anything like that. So one of those like crime doesn't pay type things. But it was a lot of fun. The bickering and banter and the dialogue between the characters was really good. And Ames was telling me that he was, kind of learning as he went as far as the animation goes. But I think he did a really good job. This came across to me as like the perfect thing for like Adult Swim on Cartoon Network. They're looking to adapt into a full-length feature, but I would scrap that, man. Make this a series and pitch it to freaking Cartoon Network for Adult Swim, because it is perfect for that type of demographic. If you guys are watching some of the goofy stuff late at night on Adult Swim, this is exactly where this cartoon belongs. It's funny, it looks the part, it feels the part, and if they can come up with a nice elongated story that could go over a number of episodes versus just a feature, I think they could really hit on something there. So Space Goblins, you can look it up on YouTube. The full 30-minute film is available. Check out Ames Overton on Facebook. Seems like a really cool guy. Like I said, it was a real do-it-yourself type project, very minimal budget. And they are talking about putting together a full-length feature. But I would say put together a full series. Forget that feature. Put together a full series of cartoons. It's probably a lot of work if you're still drawing everything by hand. But that's my take. Those are 3 shorts you guys should go check out. Dante Fleming's What Will I Do?, Josh Hancock's Back to the Furniture, and Ames Overton's Space Goblins. All available on YouTube. Check them out. Like, follow, subscribe, and do the same for me. Like, subscribe, and comment to my YouTube channel. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I'll see everybody in the next video.